Hey guys, I'm back. Thanks for tuning in to another Lifetime movie review. Again, as you guys know, I have zero talent whatsoever, as I keep repetitively saying. I appreciate your viewership. Again, whether you like it or not, I appreciate you guys even viewing it. I want to break down Killer Nanny. It's basically, again, I don't want to give everything away, but like I said, I've seen it before. It's about a young woman who was trying to get herself through college. She's falling behind on her bills. She's got a lot of expenses. Things are piling up, and it obviously takes place in California. And she's trying to find a job. She's really hurting financially, and she decides to put ads out there, put feelers out there, goes online, searches for potential nanny jobs. She's really eager to work around children. She loves children. She feels like this is her calling right now. Maybe not her future, but the present. She feels like helping kids is something she very much enjoys. She very much appreciates, and she feels like by being a college student, she feels like her extracurricular activity should be this, and she's very dedicated to it. So she ends up stumbling up across a family who reaches out back to her. I guess they come across her profile online. They say, "Hey, we'd like to interview you." So she ends up driving. I think it's like an hour away. It reminds me of Napa Valley. It's like out in wine country, out in the middle of nowhere, and they live in a huge house, a very nice house. A mansion. They're obviously very well-off people, very well-to-do, but it's kind of an old-style house, very old style, kind of built in the 1920s. So anyway, yeah, she comes up on it. She realizes, wow, this is a heck of a trip, but she knows that she's very passionate about. She needs a job. You know, she's falling behind on bills. She's got expenses. She's got to get herself through college. So she's balancing all these things as a young woman, like many young women face in real life, and she's facing these issues. So she's got to take them head on, and she knows how much she's naturally good around kids, and she loves being around kids, and she feels like kids. She's a natural, and she's a pro at nannying. She loves helping kids, but anyway, so she arrives. She interviews with the people. She really wants a job. Really wants a job. I think in her progression, she are with the husband and wife. She starts to realize that they're a little bit quirky, a little different, but she doesn't suspect anything of it. And then she meets the children. Children, very typical children, right? Like anyone's children, and nothing out of the ordinary, nothing unusual. And she realized, she's like, I really want this job. It would be an honor to work in this environment. She's never been in such an amazing environment. She's like, God, I could make really good money doing this. And I think she left, she goes back home, and she was really hoping, I think maybe from my perspective, it seemed like maybe she was getting a little down on that whole situation, but in the end, it really worked out in her favor, and she ends up getting a call, and they hire her right on the spot, and like, we definitely want you to start right away. And she was so thrilled because she knows she's got so many responsibilities that she's got to juggle as a young woman, as a young college student. She's got bills, she's got expenses, but this is also something she really wants to do. And I think you guys who viewed this Killer Nanny movie, you're going to see that she's a very bright, very smart, very intelligent, very strong, independent young woman with a lot of gifts, and she loves being around children. She loves to help children. She loves to take care of children. She feels like it's her natural calling. And college, I feel like as this movie progresses, The Killer Nanny, you'll start to realize that I feel like she was putting this job way before her college, and I feel like the college stuff got kind of pushed to the back burner. And I think you guys are going to see that as this Killer Nanny movie progresses. It's definitely something. I'm breaking it up in little chunks because I want you guys to want to see the movie. I don't want to give too much away because you guys don't want to hear me blabber. I mean, I'm a nobody. You guys don't need to hear me talk. But anyway, like I said, as the movie progresses, the more she starts to spend time at the mansion, she becomes a live-in. She's around the kids. She starts to know some things are off. And again, I don't want to elaborate. I don't want to go too much into detail. But as time starts to go on, she notices the kids. She starts picking up. I think there's a brother and a sister. She starts seeing erratic behavior. Sometimes periods of aggression, hostility, just different kinds of weird, very, very different emotions. Remember, this is a young woman who had experienced nannying in her hometown, which is like over an hour away, but this was a very different establishment, very big house, very well-to-do people, very rich, wealthy people. The way they did things, they were very particular, very meticulous about how they wanted everything done, which is the mother and father I'm referring to. And the more she spends time around the mother and father, as well as the children, she starts seeing the kids' behavior. She's like, something's off with these kids. And I think She doesn't think too much into it in the beginning. I think you guys will see that in this Killer Nanny movie. I think they held the suspense off for as long as they could for a short period of time. But I think as you guys, as the movie, as the plot, as the summary, again, drags on and pushes forward, she's a very kind, very courteous young woman who she's there out of the goodness of her heart. Yes, she wants to make money for herself, but she's really starting to have doubts about the family that has taken her in, that has given her this amazing opportunity. And I think she starts noticing that there's things off about the parents. And I think there starts to be a little bit of a wrinkle as this movie progresses, referring to the Killer Nanny, and I think it starts putting a strain. The kids start showing some violent tendencies, and it starts putting her. All she's there to do, she just wants to fulfill her dream of nannying while in college and making a living for herself on the side. Just to help support herself through college and her extra expenses and bills. And again, as this movie goes on, you guys are definitely going to be interested in things are not as they appear in this house. This family is hiding deep, dark secrets, and the children have some deep, dark secrets and demons. And they do a pretty good job at hiding this, but you guys very rapidly, you'll start to see things start to bubble to the surface, and it'll just start, boom, it'll be right there. I felt the cast, they did a phenomenal job with this movie. They held the plot for a little bit, and they just built it. I think what I mean by holding the plot, they didn't want to give too much away, and they wanted to keep the interest and keep you on the edge of your seat. And I think this movie, I give a very high rating with that. I think it's definitely another movie that's worth your while to watch. And again, you definitely want to tune into The Killer Nanny. Again, things will definitely progress and things will get very, very intense in this movie. But I promise you, this one, I'm pretty sure this is at 4 o'clock on Lifetime on Saturday. Continuing a phenomenal day of Lifetime movies and a phenomenal lineup. And like I said, this is definitely a movie you guys don't want to miss as well at 4 p.m., The Killer Nanny, which I am referring to again. It's very suspenseful, and I think some of you guys, especially women who have dealt with this, who have nannied when they're in college, I think a lot of you are going to relate to this too a little bit. Not with the family, obviously. This family had a lot of deep issues, a lot of dark secrets, and as this plot thickens, as the movie and the summary drags along or carries forward, you're going to start seeing a lot of these secrets start fizzing to the surface. Things are not as they appear in this movie. Pay attention to every little detail here in The Killer Nanny, which I know you guys are pros at this. But I think this movie is definitely worth your time at 4 p.m. on Saturday. I was very interested at first, but I feel like I kind of lost a little bit of interest. But I look back and said, this is a very well done movie, and the director, casting directors, and the actors and actresses did a phenomenal job in their roles. Again, another hard. I felt like this was not an easy thing to do, but they got the message off, and I think it actually relates to people at home. Sometimes you deal with tense situations, but as we see in this movie, this family had some deep issues, and you guys are really going to start seeing things just come right at you, and you're going to feel like, wow, this has my interest. So please, you don't want to miss the Killer Nanny Saturday at 4 p.m. on Lifetime. It is definitely worth your while. Please tune in. Thank you so much, guys.